Today, due to the development of science and technology, Vietnam's economy has gone up quickly. However, this has had a devastating effect on our environment. Specifically, the air is polluted by water sources and forest fires. As an industry develops, many harmful gases are released into the environment, causing climate change. When the air is polluted, many respiratory diseases arise, and these diseases are very difficult to treat. The rate of cancer is also on the rise. This has alerted us, human beings living on Earth. We need to work together to protect the environment. As residents, we need to protect the environment from the smallest actions such as garbage classification and garbage collection in the right place. For factories and industrial parks, there should be an appropriate direction for wastewater and exhaust treatment. For the authorities, when detecting any violation or causing environmental damage, it is necessary to strictly sanction. In addition, we need to actively plant more trees. Each person contributes a little bit of effort, but it will be enough to improve the current environmental condition. From there we will have a cleaner and cleaner living environment.
Forests not only provide oxygen and help people maintain life, but the watershed forests also act as brave warriors to stop the flow of floodwaters, limit the consequences of storms and floods, and prevent landslides. Rock. However, in recent years, due to forest burning and indiscriminate deforestation, forests have been seriously damaged, and storms and floods have thus happened unexpectedly and become more difficult to prevent. To reduce the damage caused by natural calamities and protect the living environment, many programs of afforestation and greening of barren hills have been organized by the state. Newly planted forests are not only a solution to restore damaged forests, protect the environment and prevent natural disasters, but also create jobs for many mountainous people. I think afforestation is a useful action that needs to be replicated to protect the environment. Flood is one of the most dangerous disasters in the world. It's the fact that every flood causes damage not only to the property but also to people. Vietnam, the country with an S-shaped mainland located in Southeast Asia, is affected severely by floods, especially in the middle of Vietnam. Every year, about 10 to 15 floods are coming into Vietnam. The main reason is heavy rain, with average annual rainfall from 1,500 to 2,000 mm due to its location. The influence of the monsoon is also a reason that Vietnam has to be affected by storms and tropical depressions. Furthermore, being next to the sea, tides create floods in lots of regions that have poor drainage systems. Additionally, earth warming leads to the rising of sea level, and deforestation has made the problem more serious. Floods destroy lands, paddy fields, and houses, and damage the facilities of middle areas. People lose their homes and even lives due to floods. Although Vietnam always supports the locals, it takes time, and right after they reconstruct their life, floods will be going to come again. To stop this, the governments are finding new modern solutions and giving precautions with warnings as soon as possible. I hope that in the future the Vietnam will have a more effective solution and the locals in the middle areas will have a better life.
Air pollution is becoming more and more serious. First of all, I would like to talk about the causes of air pollution. The first cause I want to mention is gas emissions from factories and vehicles. As the gases from factories are not treated, they are very harmful to not only the air but also the environment. One of the substances contributing to the air pollution found in these gases is carbon dioxide, CO2. One is also included in the gas emissions from vehicles. Additionally, nowadays, more and more plants and vehicles are appearing, contributing to the more serious air pollution. The more gases discharged into the air, the more polluted the air is. And this brings several bad effects on both the environment and humans. Now, I will continue with the second part about its impacts. Firstly, the polluted air certainly affects the environment. Air pollution means that the CO2 in the air is high, and this gas will cause the greenhouse effect. This phenomenon will result in global warming, and this is very bad for the environment. Also, the ecosystem is influenced because, in places where the CO2 is more than oxide, living things are hard to survive. They can die or become extinct. Another impact is harming human life. The polluted air damages people's health because it causes respiratory diseases. Besides, it might have negative influences on daily life. As the air is polluted seriously, people will prefer staying at home rather than going out to avoid diseases, interrupting their lives. Moreover, pollution also costs the government money to handle problems. Every year, the government needs to spend a large amount of money to deal with air pollution to better society. If it is not prevented as soon as possible, the amount will increase gradually. Trees are useful assistants to reducing air pollution. Finally, I want to talk about the suggestion for solutions to solve the air pollution problem. Objectively speaking, it would be better if the government have suitable strategies such as encouraging people not to cut down trees without their permission and to use public transport to reduce the number of the vehicles, as well as implementing appropriate strict laws to require plants to treat their exhausted gas before they are discharged into the air. Subjectively speaking, we should be aware of air protection. We should use green energy and not cut down trees without permission from the government and travel by walk or by bike. Let's protect our air for the next generation together. This brings me to the end of my presentation. To sum up, I would like to mention what I have said so far. First, I talk about the causes of air pollution. Next, its effects are mentioned, and finally, I suggest some solutions to protect our air.